Well, good morning and welcome to 2024. I really thought we were gonna start cleaning seed first thing this morning, but the frost, guess we'll do something else for a little bit.
Hi, I'm Tony Fast's daughter.
I'm Tony Fast's daughter.
I'm Tony Fast's daughter. Our family has been blessed to farm in Montana
For over 100 years now.
And it wouldn't be possible without the great team we have
and blessings from our Savior,
Jesus Christ.
Well, the fog's lifted. Pretty nice sunny day out now. We'll get the seed treater out, seed cleaner out. Not treating season yet. Well, this is our seed cleaner. It's mounted on a truck, so it's easy to get around. It is a Bench Industries. I built here in Montana, over in Great Falls. And this has just got a bunch of screens in it and air. A couple layers, 3 layers of screens. The stuff that falls all the way through the bottom comes out this side, and that's our screening. So all the dirt, weeds, small broken seeds, stuff like that comes out this side. All the big stuff, seed pods, and whatever else can come off this side, which I think we probably should go turn that around because I don't really want to separate all of that, I don't think. So we go take this in the shop, we'll pull these bolts out, flip this around, and then everything will go out that side for the screenings. So I'll go in this truck. Our wheat, our peas, chickpeas, lentils, barley, durum, all that seed we can clean ourselves. We don't have to buy new seed every year like corn seed or soybeans, some wheat seeds even that way too, but this machine will clean all that so we can keep back some of our crop from last year and plant it next year. So that's what we're gonna get set up for. We're gonna probably start with our chickpeas.
Well, Happy New Year, even though today's the 3rd of January. Anyway, yesterday we were cleaning seed. I didn't really carry a camera around because there wasn't much to see from my point of view, and did a few odds and ends. But anyway, today we have the quad back in the shop, just changing engine oil and transmission oil. And fun fact, these oil pans are, or transmissions are 16.9 gallons, I think he said. And our oil can is not 16.9 gallon capacity. So I gotta dump that out before I can drain the rest of the transmission. Well, the transmission is drained. I just thought I'd show you, I don't know why I did not video this monumental occasion of we have a new tote. We filled the old used oil tote is full, and so I ran out, grabbed another one. Like I said, didn't video a thing about it, other than I used Bobcat, pulled it out, got an empty one, threw it in. And yeah, I maybe got the oil pan just a little full, but I didn't spill much. So anyway, this is empty. Now it's just refill. Yesterday I got the transmission changed. Yeah, I just up and changed the transmission. Yesterday I got the transmission oil changed. Today we're gonna do engine oil, blow out filters, all that. Basically, get it ready. Maybe even wash some windows or something. I don't know. Get it ready to go hook up to the air seeder for spring, and that way, come springtime, we just go seeding and not frantically trying to work and get things done and then go seed him. So that's the plan for today. Also, we found out on the peat there's a coolant leak, and so I've got it plugged in, get the peat in here, start looking for a coolant leak. That's today's plan, but it's just a plan, subject to change.
It's a little foggy out again this morning, so not really sure what we're gonna do for cleaning. If it starts to lift a little bit, we can get going cleaning. The problem is, if the cleaner would have sat out all night, then you'd have the frost on all the screens, and then they can't slide. Grain will stick to them. But since it's in the shop from overnight, we might be able to do it anyways. But first, let's go dump the Chevy in the bin. The froster doesn't work very good in this one. Oh, we're gonna make it. Will it turn good enough? Oh yeah. Bin's full.
Well, the peat decided to be froze up. Only in the air though. So I grabbed the one wrench that I knew would fit, and then I went back and got an assortment of wrenches that should fit. So yeah, it's 1 inch, not 3/4. Should have known. So I'm taking the air, or half taking the air line that goes off the compressor down to the tanks to add air brake and a freeze. So it's kind of a thing. It's not that bad. It's like 20 degrees out. I'm not a big fan of having to do this, but sometimes you just have no option. Turn that guy on. Still not building air. I'll give it a minute. Oh, we have progress. Primary air on the rise. Cool.
Well, you might have seen this sitting in the background in some clips earlier. It's this guy's. Remember him? Know who he is?
No, I have no idea.
If you don't know, it's Leg Arms from Welker Farms.
Let's just say my vehicle has a big ubu.
They were on their way out to New York for Christmas, before Christmas. Stayed the night here, and the next morning he had trouble. So they took Mom and Dad's Yukon out to Buffalo.
Whoa,
and
hang
back.
on a second. This guy here came and saved us, pulled our vehicle on a trailer back to here because it was not going to move.
I actually sabotaged so I could spend one more day at the farm.
Here's a bunch of sand in the intake.
That's
No.
not really what happened, but
No.
it worked out really good.
Yeah.
Mom and Dad's Yukon was sitting all winter because they go to Phoenix and aren't home, and they took it out there and it worked out really good.
That was such a blessing to be able to borrow that vehicle, and I don't know how to say thank you, because like that was just overwhelming, because this thing here is not moving. The engine might have dropped a valve. That says a lot.
At the least.
Yeah,
So-
pretty much, yeah.
So go check out Welker Farm to see what happened to the Suburban when he tears it all apart. Or,
Right.
Sorry, Yukon.
Yukon.
Yeah, it was
Stop saying
they have a
Suburban. It's a
We're
Yukon.
getting
There's a
mixed up all the
difference.
time. Yeah. So, yeah, he's heading back home to Shelby.
I am.
Brought Mom and Dad's back this morning. We
Yeah.
pushed it on with the skid steer.
And then I got to visit with this guy for a while, got harassed a little bit, and now I'm gonna cry on the way home. You know, nothing crazy. It's all good.
Just typical millennial things.
It is, absolutely, yeah.
So-
I'm just a farmer. That's what we do best, is cry.
Be offended to go home now.
Yes, absolutely. Let's go with that.
Well, I think I've got everything done on the peat now. Ended up just finding a whole bunch of loose hose clamps, which is probably why we were leaking antifreeze. Not that the guys that put this together did anything wrong. I think it was just new hoses and, you know, getting run more, heating up and everything. They just wore into place, and so I only tightened about every hose clamp about one full turn. So not a ton, but enough. So we'll see tomorrow if there's any wet spots underneath. See what it looks like. I threw another gallon of antifreeze and water in it, so we'll see. Also fixed an air leak, and so it's holding air. So far it's been sitting for 2.5 hours and it's still above 100 pounds, so that's pretty good too. And then as well as, we didn't need valve caps on any of the valve stems on any of the tires. Not a big thing, but they could come in handy when it comes to rocks getting in there, so, and dirt. I think it's ready to hit the roads, so long as tomorrow there's no puddles underneath of it or no wet concrete underneath it. Should be good.
Well, all done cleaning the chickpeas. Little bird food on the ground. Mostly pods. Lots of pods in those chickpeas. These are the hailed out ones from last summer. We had the hailstorm that went through the yard here and really chewed up the chickpeas where it hailed on. The ones north of the yard and east were fine, but the ones south of the yard here were not. So we cleaned those. We're gonna send those off, see how they test for seed from the state lab for disease and whatnot, and see if they're good for seeding. Should be able to fix them with seed treat if they're not, but otherwise they're basically feed grade, which is probably worth 1/4 of what chickpeas typically are worth. So we'll just seed those. But yeah, that was a slow process. So many splits. That hail just makes that chickpea so fragile, and like them just falling, they split. So because we get most of those splits out with the cleaner, but because there were so many splits, we had to run a lot slower than we're used to running. So I think it was about 4,000 total bushels. I think we took 1,000 bushels worth of splits and chaff out. So that's like way higher percentage than we normally would take out with chickpeas or peas or wheat for that matter. So, but we got tired to patch, figure out why it's leaking on the peat, and 3 tractors are in the shop now. Tim's been working on the one while I was cleaning, but we got a few other things to work on in there now for next week. So that's what's going on here. See you next week. It's still the weekend. Couldn't help myself, but I did see this and I figured we better address this before it gets any worse. We got a coolant leak. It appears to be coming out of the oil cooler gasket O-ring. It's an O-ring. So the plan was just to change that tire or patch that tire and leave it outside and do all that. But now that we got to dig into that, I think we're better unhook the Super Bees. We'll fire this thing up and do the shuffle in the shop and get this thing put in. Didn't seem to be leaking in the shop. I think it's just when it gets cold outside, everything contracts enough that it started leaking. So, uh-oh. Better push the clutch in for this one, since it wasn't plugged in. Yeah, it's not gonna go. All right, I'll go get my battery charger. Well, I got the truck running outside. I washed tractors earlier today too, because I just couldn't help myself. They needed washing. And 145s to get the loader put back on here, probably Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or sometime. And the quad's gonna come back in. We're gonna change the seal on the hub, and Tim got everything else serviced. I think that thing's ready to go back to the shed for winter. So bring the trucks back in, bring the truck in and the quad back in, I guess. That might be the most puny air horn on a truck I've ever heard.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching, but don't forget, farm hard, pray harder. See you next video.